Charles Cooper, how you see this is opened up position of Federal Election Commission versus Ted Cruz for Senate. Mr. Cruze, how you see this is transmission. You are too. Hello, Your Honor, Chief Justice and Nora Anderson Roberts, his son, John Roberts. Kevin's Aunt Margaret Anderson Ford, same family. In the view of the state, the lambda, gamma, p hat, the sine of Rouse of tau. If gamma of mu of vega, the application of min prime is not that of the other particle affiliates. In view of the bankruptcy, pre and post the model, compared to how the stock is wondered, the political campaign view as as that of the party of interest, and tau Rao sign. Now, if the tau Rao sign in applications to lambda mu of gamma means that state applications of vega Rao, the Rao of p of delta means that each state has its own requirement, the same way that they'd see Roe versus Wade. The same way that they would see Oklahoma, same way they see Belvins, and the same way they see Jane Doe. At the time of applications, you would know this as Trump v. Vance and model assessment. Hurry up. Back. In the view of model, Mr. Cooper, back to the application of min hat of sine around p hat. And 2 Jane Doe v. the U.S. Belvins v. the U.S. of Colorado River Basin was wondering in UN Order 2826 and via UN Order 71269 and model assessment. We are not identifying Tijuana as its own country to its own state under NAFTA. We are not identifying statehood of Washington, D.C. as statehood of Michigan as the UP split again. And we are not identifying Sonoma Islands as a state, let alone the water bond, airport bond, and the view of Cuba. Well, if the design is wondered in Cuba at the time, what is that the oil wonderment and shipping water compared to electricity and building an electrical fence? Now, if you're going to p hat the vega, the sine of Rao prime, if you're in bankruptcy at the state level to torque, the Belvin's question is the indenturement of Rao tau vega, the theta sine of mu, where the cosine of lambda prime justifies mu of cosine. The mu of cosine isn't the p hat value of Rao prime. Now, my Rao prime should be that of instead, but that would be the president compared to the party. But you're now in application to torque because you're justifying the indemnity clause of tau in the view of at-large gamma. And at-large gamma, the Ted Cruz for Senate. Hi, I'm too cheap. I'm Ted Cruz. I'm too cheap. I don't run on the Libertarian Party. I don't run on the Green Party. I don't run on the American Independence Party. I can't choose a woman. I can't choose a Native American. I can't choose African American general or African or a woman general. And the view of understanding partisan allegiance, and instead of asking him if he speaks Spanish in the debate in view of Rubio himself, that wouldn't be the political application the same way capital expenditure is wondered and the view of the border wall. If that's wondered in the DuPont, Routledge, Pence models, now my capital expenditure is in full capability instead of my bankruptcy in view of my tax returns, which allows wealth gathering of who? This is Mr. Cooper. You can go the 38th word. Sorry, sir. Now you understand. Maybe you can be man enough to tell me his call sign someday and be a better person than Kevin is. A standard argument, Miss Keegan, and permission to request. In view of the Colorado River Basin as a time delta application to the 2-year Treasury note justifying the gold standard, and in view of the rubidium, platinum, palladium, and in view of the Defense Production Act, invoking the Hatch-Brown Act at a time to volunteer militia and application of Weiss v. the U.S., Stevenson v. the U.S., Executive Order 17317, Executive Orders 13608, Executive Orders 13612, application of time expectancy project analysis of the DART project in view of U.S. Space Command deficiencies under Mod Code 50 U.S.C. 48632. Model assessment indicates volunteer militia and capital compliance expenditures in view of volunteer funding under the Hatch Act, applying the Brown Act in view of acre square footage 719,000 Esslin County. And model may request a U.S. solicitor at large identified in view of the county of Napa, California. State bar not inquired educationally requested 168 or 180 LSAT 747 GMAT and the notary assignment four times at 69 and 163. In the view of State Compliant Procedure Act, the acreage square foot is 719,000 compared to 3.4 million, and if identified torque analysis of 2.5 to 3.4 billion compared to 8.6 to 12.4 billion. Noted deposition at the time of original court of procedure. A effective theoretical formula of analysis to procedural hunt. Sorry.
Mr. Cooper, we generally don't ask questions during rebuttal, so I'm going to ask the question now that is similar to the one that you're being asked, and I hope Mr. Stewart will address it.
167 cases, and I would like to expand it to 215 to 307 based on more effective field theory. I hunt. There's a reason the Borowski, Your Honor, in view of this issue. Sorry. This is my understanding rationalization.
Whether it should be analyzed as an expenditure or as a contribution, and you were pushing back and saying it should be an expenditure. But in your brief, you also argued, I believe, that even if the other level of scrutiny, closely drawn scrutiny.
So the first question, the Mesa Vieja, Arizona.
you to
Judge Kavanaugh.
tell us why you think that.
You are a real person.
Your Honor, yes. We believe that any level of heightened scrutiny, closely drawn scrutiny under the Constitution.
Republicans are real. Great grandpa's not supposed to be one, but we're the Libertarian Green Party and the American Independence Party. Him and General Powell, him and Alan West, him and Ben Carson. He's too cheap of a person to ever wonder that. Compared to how you would wonder districting, rezone, and in his home state, where the acreage square footage to a chemical nuclear disaster is not the wonderment in Arizona compared to the view of the fire and applied expressionary acreage square footage in view of applied torque in view of Hawaii. And at the time wonderment, that's not the depth assessment in view of the volcanoes in Mexico while holding the general, while the three sons of the presidential nominees are in Napa in view of Yountville. At the time of in theater.
This statute in because it's the only interest that this court has accepted as sufficiently compelling to justify a drag on First Amendment rights. Just doesn't fit.
Mr. Cooper, I have to say the opposite intuition. I mean, I understand the equalization argument, and if I think about it, I can understand
300, 500,000 is not what? Mrs. Keegan, may she be real? And may we also in Southern Illinois case worse to the two? And may I wonder, I'm not ever calling you and you're real. Sorry.
When the question is contributors.
Will your mind be? You need to show Miss Connors or research before the changes of Ryan Cruze in depositional view to this case as model.
Even if you attribute that interest to this statute, it just doesn't do it in a rational way. It places no limit, Your Honor, on the pre-election contributions that a candidate may use to repay
The lambda p hat of sine of prime, the cosine of vega, which means that you're at gamma of p hat in view of min prime. Posted as min prime of rho is the sine of tau, where the cosine of gamma of mu just means that the vega lambda of rho of sine isn't in applications to lambda tau. As lambda tau would be how they would see his next election. But if you're already a billionaire and the states are requiring you to disclose the taxes, this is your primary hedge against it instead of having to show it. The same way you'd see stock wonderment and following my view of expression to my party affiliation. LLP, PLC, and LLP in my partnership is an S and C corp. My C corp is the individuals. Same way I'm shaking hands. My S corp is that asking for your vote. And then my PLC Justice Breyer, may you be wondered your right. And on this, I will watch the what was sent in view of the UN yesterday is wondered. That is really your honor. Show Duke. Puerto Rico via the U.S., Your Honor. Please show that in Vega Tau of application, this was wondered in year 2 and year 3, not year 4. And when this is only after the wonderment of the changes of the flight, DuPont Rutledge Pence. Show this as the same wonderment as asking how much he's flying. And say he can't spend 3 days or 5 days in Lauding, Moscow, or Tokyo. Too cheap. Oh, excuse me. Or Beijing. And turn on their radio network. No U.S. president has ever been to Mecca. And don't have enough to ask, yeah. But I'm supposed to be this Hong Kong Mark agree again.
My submission reflects what his
Sorry.
genuine purpose was. Thank you.
I hate that camp. Why are we again when...
Justice Sotomayor?
Counsel, we know that after an election, that your contribution as a
Excuse me.
contributor